Hello, and welcome back to another edition of Tips and Tricks. Up until now, I've been focusing on how Waymaker can be used as a creative MIDI sequencer or MIDI effect, but today I want to show how Waymaker can operate as a controller for some of my other plugins. So today we're going to look at how Waymaker and Ridgewalk can work together to create kind of very unique atmospheres or kind of reverb effect. So let's get them connected and get started. So if you don't already know, Ridgewalk is a sort of granular effect, sort of a sound-on-sound looper and a granular engine in one. And you can use it in a variety of ways, but today I want to use it to kind of create a kind of complementary atmosphere to what I'm playing on the keys. So to do that, I'm going to drop the buffer size a little bit. I'm going to make it free time. Yeah, maybe just 4 seconds. I'm going to up the blur setting, particularly because the blur setting has a built-in reverb. And then I'm also going to change the traversal just to be a random wander. Moves around pretty quickly. So let's hear how this sounds right now. So you can hear we've captured that little synth passage, and now we're just kind of granularizing it. But one of the issues with granular and reverb and delays in general is that they really occupy the same kind of frequency spectrum as whatever you feed them. They kind of just mirror whatever you send them. And as a result, it can be kind of hard to differentiate that effect in the mix very much. You have to be careful not to kind of overload that one particular, area of the frequency spectrum. So this is where Waymaker comes in. Because one of the ways you can solve that issue is to use something like a shimmer effect, which is traditionally a reverb where, what it's playing back from is like an octave up. But personally, I find that effect can be a little overwhelming and can be kind of cheesy in a lot of contexts. So what I like about the combination of Waymaker and Ridgewalk is that we can kind of create a custom shimmer effect. So, to start, Ridgewalk has, by default, it has 3 grains running at a time, 3 granular loopers. And you can see that over here in Waymaker. We can now individually pitch each of those grains. So what we heard right now, originally, all of them are just playing the same pitch. But what if one of them was an octave up? Now, that's kind of cool. I think it's nice that we're kind of maintaining some part of the original pitch, but we're also getting this kind of shimmer effect, which is providing something new as well. But personally, I still find that a little too aggressive. I feel like shimmer is something that you really need to be careful with. So instead, I'm going to change over to a weight sequencer. And so what the weight sequencer is going to do is it kind of chooses randomly between, by default, the original pitch and up an octave. So that's kind of what we want, but let's dial it in. Instead of this sequence progressing based on time, I want it to progress when a loop finishes. So basically each grain is now going to have a random pitch. And I am going to dial this down to maybe just 10%. And we'll hear how that sounds. So now we're hearing just a few of these loops are an octave up. And this way we can kind of control kind of the exact percentage and probability that we're going to get that shimmer effect versus maintain the original pitch. We can take this another step further too. What if we add an octave down too? Just to really get some depth. And the other thing is that we don't only have to work with octaves as well. By default, when you're controlling Ridgewalk, Waymaker's scale is set to octaves and fifths. So we could introduce a fifth to get a bit more kind of harmonic richness. Go even further, this could be 2 octaves up. And then I find that this effect is still kind of best when it's paired with a little filtering just to calm down the highest pitches. But it's nice because we're introducing something unique compared to the source audio. And as we continue to play,